Now, here in Germany, Chancellor Olaf Scholz has condemned an attack on a politician while he was out campaigning. Matthias Ecke was putting up election posters in the eastern city of Dresden when he was beaten up and seriously injured on Friday evening. Ecke is a candidate in the upcoming European Parliament elections. Police have not commented on the motive of the attack, but anti-right alliances have called for demonstrations in Berlin and Dresden on Sunday.
Matthias Ecke is one of the SPD's rising stars. Since his election to the European Parliament 2 years ago, he's made a name for himself as an advocate for democracy and civil society. Ecke was confident of re-election this year. He was hanging up campaign posters in this Dresden suburb when 4 unidentified men beat him so severely he had to be operated on in hospital. Police say the same men had also injured a Green Party worker just minutes earlier. These were just the latest in a series of incidents of violence and harassment against political figures. Chancellor Scholz called for united action against right-wing extremism.
We must never allow ourselves to become comfortable with acts of violence like these. We must never shrug our shoulders when they happen here or there, such as when Green Party candidates were attacked recently. When we see this happening against local politicians and the mayors of small towns. Democracy is threatened by acts like these, which is why shrugging them off is never an option. We must stand up together.
Niemals eine Option. Wir müssen gemeinsam dagegen stehen.
Experts say there's little doubt which groups are behind the violence.
And this is exactly what neo-Nazis and the extreme right want. They want to, on the local level, carve out, destroy democracy. And I think the threat has never been greater since reunification. And the stark words by the Chancellor are very much appreciated.
Politicians from all Germany's major parties, including the far-right AfD, have condemned the brutal attack on Matthias Ecke. But many are seeing troubling echoes of Germany's darkest times.
I can now speak to Fabian Funke. He's a social democrat and member of the German Parliament for Saxony. Joins me now from Pirna. Hello, welcome to the program. A member of your party was brutally attacked this weekend. How did that make you feel?
Personally, I feel really sad for Matthias. He's a good friend of mine. But in the end, I'm also feel sad for this democracy now in Germany, because we see that these hostile attacks on people during election campaign are rising up. And I think this is really a dangerous sign also for the state of our democracy right now.
Right. You talk about democracy. That's the same that Chancellor Olaf Scholz said. He basically said that incidents like this mark a threat for democracy. How would you describe Germany's political climate in light of this attack?
I think in this election campaign for the European election, and I think this will also be the case for the elections in autumn for the states, we have a really hostile climate from the right-wing extremists and the right-wing parties. And I think this is something that has set foot years ago, and now is sadly the time when the words, like the hostile words from these right-wing extremists, are now becoming also physical.
I mean, looking at your own experience, have you ever felt threatened as a politician?
Not directly. I'm not getting beaten up or something like that. But when you're on the streets and when you're hanging up posters, of course, there were all the time people that said hostile things and looked and things like that. But not in a way this, and I think this is really special because this was not by accident. There were people that were really hunting down these election campaigners in this way, and I think this has a new quality that is also different than the other things we also experienced in the last years. But it was all the time the case that right extremists were on the run and also doing damage to our election campaign, to our posters, and also being hostile against our people.
What do you think has given rise to this hostility, you think?
I don't know. I think when we looked at the debates in the last years, we've seen that some anti-democratic, some anti-democratic things and some words are now able to say within the public without having to feel like you're doing something wrong. And I think this is really dangerous, that we normalize those right-wing tendencies and also right-wing extremism at some point. And this also gives people that are on the way and think that way to speak it out loud and also to act like that. So I think it's really important that we condemn these tendencies and speak also clear words about it, and also that the Democrats in this country are coming together and standing up for democracy and also the freedom that we have in this country.
Right. This is the latest and most severe attack on a German politician in recent weeks. What more do you think needs to be done to protect politicians and indeed create that conducive environment for, people to speak freely, democratically?
I think the most important thing that has to be done now is also to show solidarity with these politicians, with democratic parties, with Democrats all around the country. I think this is the most important, that the society really makes a mark in saying that we want to defend our democracy and we want to defend the people that are caring about it. Because when you look at who puts up those posters, that are not only politicians like me, like Matthias, but there's also many people doing this in their free time for democracy. And I think they also have to be safe better.
Right. Fabian Funke, member of the German Parliament for Saxony. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.